Every morning, the sky is soft and quiet. The sun is not strong yet. The air is cool and fresh. Birds sing in the trees. And the world feels calm. This is the time when many people like to go outside and move their bodies. In a small town, there is a green park near a river. The park has tall trees, long paths, and many flowers. There are benches where people can sit and rest. There is also a small lake with ducks swimming slowly on the water. A young man named Ethan lives near this park. Ethan is 22 years old. He works at a small office in the town. His job is not very hard, but he sits a lot during the day. After work, he often feels tired and has little energy. One day, Ethan looks at himself in the mirror and thinks, "I want to be healthy. I want to feel strong and happy." He remembers that his doctor once said, "Morning exercise is very good for your body and your mind." So Ethan decides to wake up early and go to the park. The first morning is not easy. The alarm clock rings at 5:30. Ethan feels sleepy. He wants to stay in bed. The blanket is warm, and the room is quiet. He says to himself, "Just 5 more minutes." But then he remembers his goal. He slowly sits up, washes his face, and puts on his sports clothes. He drinks a glass of water and walks outside. The streets are almost empty. The sky is light blue. A gentle wind touches his face. Ethan feels a little nervous but also excited. When he arrives at the park, he sees many people already there. Some people are walking slowly. Some are jogging. Some are stretching their arms and legs. An old man is doing slow exercises near a tree. A group of women are laughing while they exercise together. Ethan smiles. He feels welcome. He starts by walking slowly on the path. He listens to the sound of birds and the soft steps of his shoes. After a few minutes, he begins to feel warm. His body wakes up. As he walks, he sees an old woman sitting on a bench. She watches the lake quietly. Ethan nods and says, "Good morning." She smiles and replies, "Good morning, young man." The next day, Ethan comes again. This time he feels a little more comfortable. He walks faster. He stretches his arms. He takes deep breaths. After a week, morning exercise becomes part of his life. He wakes up before the alarm sometimes. He feels proud of himself. One morning, while Ethan is jogging slowly, he sees the same old woman again. She is feeding the ducks near the lake. Ethan walks closer and says, "Good morning. Do you come here every day?" She laughs softly. "Yes, almost every day. My name is Margaret." "My name is Ethan," he says. "I just started coming here." Margaret nods. "That is very good. Morning air is like medicine. It helps the heart and the mind." They talk for a few minutes. Margaret tells Ethan she is 70 years old. She has come to the park for many years. She says the park is her favorite place. "Why do you like it so much?" Ethan asks. Margaret looks at the trees and smiles. "Because here I feel peace. I see people. I see nature. And I remember to be thankful." Ethan thinks about her words as he walks home. Days pass. Ethan continues his routine. He begins to jog a little longer. He stretches more. His body feels lighter. And his mood is better. At work, he feels more focused. His friends notice the change. "You look happy," one friend says. "I am," Ethan replies. "I started exercising in the morning." One weekend, Ethan decides to arrive even earlier. The park is very quiet. The sun slowly rises, painting the sky with soft colors. He feels calm and free. He sees a middle-aged man sitting alone on a bench. Looking worried, Ethan sits nearby and says hello. The man says, "Good morning." His voice is gentle but tired. "My name is Ethan," he says. "I am Robert," the man replies. They talk a little. Robert shares that he has many problems at work. He feels stressed and cannot sleep well. A friend told him to try walking in the park. "Does it help?" Ethan asks. Robert sighs. "A little. When I walk here, I feel less pressure." Ethan says, "I think the park helps us slow down. We can breathe and think clearly." Robert smiles slightly. "Yes, maybe you are right." Over time, Ethan becomes friends with many people in the park. There is a group of students who run together. There is a man who walks his small dog every morning. There are two sisters who practice dancing near the playground. Each person has a story. Each person has a reason to be there. One morning, Ethan feels very tired. He worked late the night before. He thinks about skipping exercise. But then he remembers how good he feels after moving his body. He says, "I will go, even if I just walk." At the park, he walks slowly. The fresh air wakes him up. He feels better than he expected. Margaret sees him and says, "Sometimes we do not feel strong. But we still try. That is important." Ethan nods. "Yes, I almost stayed in bed today." Margaret laughs. The bed is comfortable, but the world outside is beautiful. As months go by, Ethan notices many small changes in his life. He sleeps better. He eats more healthy food. He feels less angry and more patient. One morning, it starts to rain lightly. Ethan thinks, "Should I stay home?" But he decides to go anyway with an umbrella. The park looks different in the rain. The leaves shine. The paths are quiet. Only a few people are there. Ethan walks slowly and listens to the sound of raindrops. He feels peaceful. He sees Robert walking without an umbrella, smiling. "Rain is not so bad," Robert says. "It washes away worries." Ethan laughs. "Yes, it feels fresh." Later, Ethan sits on a bench and thinks about his journey. He remembers the first day when he felt sleepy and unsure. Now, he feels confident and strong. One day, a young boy comes to the park with his mother. The boy looks shy and sits quietly. Ethan smiles and waves. "Do you like the park?" Ethan asks. The boy nods. "Yes, but I feel scared to run." Ethan says gently, "You can start by walking. Little steps are good." The boy tries walking slowly. Then running a little. Soon he is laughing. His mother thanks Ethan. "You helped him feel brave." Ethan feels warm inside. He understands that small words can help others. Another morning, Margaret tells Ethan a story from her past. She says, "When I was younger, I was always busy. I worried about many things. One day, I came to this park and sat under a tree. I listened to the wind. And I felt calm for the first time in a long time. Since then, I come here often." Ethan listens carefully. Margaret continues, "Life can be fast and noisy. We must find moments of quiet." Ethan thinks about this deeply. As seasons change, the park changes too. In spring, flowers bloom in bright colors. In summer, The trees give cool shade. In autumn, leaves fall gently to the ground. In winter, the air is cold but clear. Ethan enjoys each season. He learns to appreciate simple things. One day, Ethan feels sad because of a problem at work. He goes to the park with a heavy heart. He walks slowly and sits by the lake. He watches the ducks and listens to the water. After some time, he feels calmer. Margaret sits beside him and asks softly, "What is on your mind?" Ethan shares his worries. Margaret says, "Problems are like clouds. They pass. Take a deep breath and trust yourself." Ethan feels comforted. Weeks later, Ethan decides to invite his friend from work, Daniel, to join him. Daniel says, "I am not good at exercise." Ethan replies, "That is okay. We can start slowly." The next morning, they walk together. Daniel feels shy at first but soon relaxes. "This is nice," Daniel says. "I did not know mornings could feel like this." Ethan smiles. "Sometimes we just need to try." As time goes on, Ethan realizes that the park is not only a place for exercise. It is a place for connection, learning, and reflection. One morning, the park holds a small community event. People clean the paths, plant flowers, and share food. Ethan joins happily. He talks with many neighbors and feels part of something bigger. Margaret says, "When we care for our environment, we care for ourselves." Ethan agrees. Another day, Ethan wakes up feeling grateful. He walks through the park and notices the sunlight on the leaves, the laughter of people, and the gentle breeze. He thinks, happiness is in simple moments. Years later, Ethan still comes to the park. He is older now, but his routine remains. He remembers the lessons he learned. One morning, he sees a young person sitting alone, looking unsure, just like he once did. Ethan walks over and says, "Good morning." The young person smiles nervously. Ethan says, "This park is a good place to start something new." They begin to talk. Ethan realizes that life is a journey of small steps. Each morning is a new chance to grow. He looks at the rising sun and feels peace in his heart. The lesson of his story is simple. Taking care of your body helps your mind. And small daily habits can change your life. When you wake up, step outside, breathe deeply, and move, you open the door to health, friendship, and happiness. The park teaches patience, kindness, and gratitude. It reminds us that we are part of nature and part of a community. Every morning is a gift, and every step is a chance to move forward. And so, the path in the park continues. Just like life, quiet, steady, and full of possibility.